Hello everyone, my name is Aakash and thanks for attending. This is human reaction and movement enhancement via audio, tactile, and visual perceptual cues. To maximize safety, people are often physically separated from dangerous areas. However, in dynamic environments such as nature, natural disaster areas, and construction zones, this physical separation is not possible. There are many different ways to mitigate risk in dynamic environments, such as risk assessment, human-robot teaming, and human-human teaming. These methods have had great success, but they do not address the inherent bottleneck of slow human perception. With the rise of increasingly advanced vision systems and new strategies of identifying danger, we have a wealth of information to perceive threats. However, there still is a gap in communicating this critical threat information. We can alert people through perceptual cues, which include audio, visual, and tactile cues. Previous research has explored a large array of tasks, but have not looked at how perceptual cues influence dynamic movement. The dynamic movement specifically we're interested in is planar dodging. We assume that a person is in a relaxed standing position on a level plane, and after being notified at a random time that they're in the path of a threat, they move towards safety. We determined two performance metrics, including failure rate and reaction time. Failure rate was the percent of time the person failed to evade the threat, and reaction time was the time it took the center of mass speed to exceed a nominal value. Our hypothesis was that the addition of tactile cues would improve human performance by reducing both reaction time and failure rate. To test this hypothesis, we developed a virtual reality environment where we could safely and consistently simulate threatening objects. The Unity-based environment was a square room. The person was represented by a cylinder at its center to detect collisions. Threats were represented by long blue walls. These walls ensured that subjects moved their entire center of mass towards safety rather than ducking or swaying out of the way. To summarize our protocol, we had 18 subjects who completed 17 conditions of different cue combinations. These cues would give suggested dodge directions and/or object directions. Each condition was comprised of 27 trials of varying direction and difficulty. As an example, here we have a subject dodging a threat coming from behind. A top-down visual arrow tells them that it's coming from behind, and a tactile belt also buzzes them from behind. Here, this is just a representation. It wasn't shown to them in the actual experiment. And they're able to successfully dodge to their left and then recenter themselves for the next trial. To test our hypothesis, we grouped the different cue combinations into 6 groups as shown in the figure. Tactile and visual cue responses showed decreased failure rates, while audio increased failure rates. Similar trends were seen in terms of reaction time, but were less pronounced. We can also look at the data in terms of direction. Here, the subject was suggested to move forward in this polar plot. Closer values are better as they are lower failure rates. Observing the whole plot, we can see that people fail more often moving in the sagittal plane as they evade frontal plane threats. If we think about associated escape times with failure rates, we can break that down into movement time and reaction time. Reaction time did not show this clear directional dependence. Movement time, however, the time it takes for a person to escape the path of a threat after reacting, did show this directional dependence. We observed that there is actually a 30% higher movement time in the sagittal plane, and this indicates difficulty moving in the anterior and posterior directions. In summary, we investigated the effects of perceptual cues on planar dodging and found that a haptic belt provided the largest benefits. Additionally, in terms of direction, people have difficulty moving forwards or backwards. I'd like to thank my undergraduate students and my fellow graduate students in the Dart and EPIC labs. Thank you to our funding sources and the ASB organizers for giving us the opportunity to share our findings.